Hello everybody, welcome to the practical tutorial. I split this into two parts because I figured the actual installing for Windows might be kind of long, so I don't want to have the one video be an hour or two long, but I'll try to cut this down, edit out a lot of the loading screens just so you could see how it progresses without sitting there and waiting that long. But here we are. Here I have the computer that I've gone through and made over my videos all put together there. I just left the cover off so you can see it, with keyboard, mouse, and a monitor. And I'm going to install Windows using a USB drive here. Let's see if you can see a SanDisk drive. There you go. It's a 32 gig. I'm going to use this I'm going to use this instead of a DVD to install Windows. Because as you can see, this computer does not have a disk drive. I actually took it and put it in my newer computer. So, the reason I'm doing it this way, like I said, I don't have that, and these are actually a lot easier to make than you think. I might do a video on how to make a bootable USB drive. But all I did was just basically imprint an ISO file, which is a disk image file of Windows, onto this. But you don't need a 32 gig. You could get away with like a 4 gig drive. The only other one I had was a 2 gig and it wasn't big enough. So I have to use this one. So the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and plug that into the computer on the top here. It's plugged in up there. And I'm going to start the computer up. And I'm going to actually, right as the screen comes on, I'm going to go into the BIOS menu, which for this computer it's delete. It might be a little different depending on what computer you have. You'd hit that right away. And all this stuff. Okay, so we're at our BIOS screen. And because this is important, because you want to make whatever device you're booting from to install Windows first in the boot order. So once you get to this screen, you're going to find where the boot order is, which in this case, it's in Advanced BIOS Features, and there should be, yep, there it is, a thing called Boot Sequence. Hit Enter. And as you see, I already made the first boot device the USB, but you can change it from any of the disks. I have a solid state drive and a hard disk drive in here, in case you didn't watch the previous video. But so it's more to install Windows. You want the first boot device to be whatever you're going to use to install Windows, whether it be a CD or in this case, well, a DVD for the newer ones, and a or USB in this case. So I'm gonna go back, and once you made your changes, you just hit save and exit. So now it's going to restart and it's going to boot. Give it a second here. I'm going to let it do its thing now. Make sure we're zoomed in right so you can read it. The Windows logo comes up. Yeah, I have autofocus on my phone, so it's trying to, I guess every time it changes lighting a little bit, it tries to refocus in. Which is nice, but it's kind of annoying at the same time. And again, if this loading screen takes too long, I'll just cut out the video here and we'll wait for a minute. But it's even to load pretty quickly. Give it a second. Okay, so now that the screen finally came up, I don't know how well you can read the screen. I'll try to zoom in a little bit here. We have our options. It's a language to install. I don't see if you can read it very well, but it says English, United States. So it just left. I just leave it as default. So we hit next. Hit install now. And again, I might have to cut away for part of this because how long it takes to actually get to the next screen. Now that now that I've waited for the screen to come up, I need to put in the product key. So here's where I'm going to pause the video just for a little bit so I can put that in. Did anybody snooping? Because I don't want to know what my key is, so you're not trying to get a free copy of Windows. Alright, so I put in my key and I accepted it. And now it's the Microsoft user agreement, which I could just go through and read to you, or I could just click, check, and OK, which is what I'm going to do. So if you're doing a new install of Windows, you want to do custom install. It says advanced, but advanced is clicking two other extra things. Sorry about that. I guess I had to delete the recovery partitions of my solid state drive. If you don't delete all the extra recovery partitions and parts reserved for the master bootloader for Windows, it won't let you use the drive, so I have to take away everything to make sure that there's only one thing for that drive. One drive 0 unallocated space before I install to it. So now we should be good to go. And it's completely normal just for me to add in here that computers might restart a few times while it's installing. That's nothing abnormal about that. Sorry about that, I had to stop the video again for a second because I was trying to boot from the flash drive instead of the hard drive now. Getting devices ready. Now I also like to point out too that this machine is a quad-core processor with 8 gigs of RAM with a 120 gig solid state and a 500 gig hard disk drive. So it fully meets the hardware requirements of Windows Vista 7 or 8 or even 10 when that does come out. So even though it's an older machine, it still fully meets the requirements. Alright, here's our personalized screen now that it's finished installing. I needed to recharge my phone for a little bit, so that's why I waited a while. So now it's good name my computer. DIY, do it yourself, because it's a do-it-yourself PC. And I'm going to make it green. No, that'll be fine. because the case is green, and green is my favorite color. So I'm just going to use Express settings because that's the easiest way to do it, rather than going through each individual thing and setting it up. Now we have to go do an account name, so I'm just going to put my last name and the name of the channel. That'll make it easy. I'm not going to do a password because, well, I don't need to. So now here it's loading Windows for us. I've always not enjoyed the Windows 8 menu when you're first logging in, because it likes to talk to you. And there we go. Windows is completely installed. We go to our desktop. Our build is complete, which, as you can see, there's still some software things gotta do. Actually, before I end this off, there is one more thing I'd like you guys to do when you actually have Windows installed, and that is install your Windows updates. Which, for Windows 8, you actually have to type in what you're looking for. They're not just going to tell you. Like I was saying, you should check for Windows updates, because some of the drivers for your equipment, like your video card and other things like that, might be missing. And how you can tell if the stuff is missing is if you go to my computer, which in Windows 8 is called This PC. Go to Manage, go to Device Manager and Computer Management here, and you'll be able to see the things that aren't installed. And right now the only thing that's bringing up a question mark is the, since it's a quad-core processor, all four cores should be seen by the computer, but only one is. So I'd probably have to go to AMD's website to go find it, but I'm going to do this first. But yeah, I'm not going to show the whole thing, getting the updates and downloading them. But yeah, we have our computer set up. We have Windows installed, and after the updates, the resolution will be fine. So congrats, guys! Everything's finished and ready for you to do whatever you guys want to do. So, until next time, this has been How to Build Your Own PC. I'll see you later. And remember to like and subscribe my videos.